Hello, welcome, Felipe Bazon.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for taking the time to podcast with us. We are here at BrightonSEO, obviously. You just had your talk. Can you maybe explain a little bit who you are, where you're from, and why you decided to speak here at this event?
All the way from Brazil, right?
Two seconds, we got a big announcement happening in between.
Starting in 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah,
Good,
that's sick enough.
Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation. I was surprised when you guys reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, I see SEO Brain, I see your event that you did in Amsterdam. So these guys, they know me. So thank you for that. It was a pleasure. So I'm Felipe Bazon. I've been doing SEO for 20 years now. Back in 2006 when I was living in Spain, SEO found me there. And then all of a sudden it was I decided to do this for my life, and I've been doing that ever since. Back in 2009, I founded a company here in the UK called Hedgehog Digital.
Okay.
And then we been 16 years doing that for just SEO. In 2017, I decided to take to my home country, Brazil, which is where I'm from. So since then, we've been servicing companies all around Europe, or not all around Europe, all around the world that speaks Portuguese, English, and Portuguese, English, and Spanish. We can service every one of those companies. Our main operation nowadays is in Brazil, where we help companies from e-commerce, B2B, SaaS, anything that needs visibility in Google and now in AI. We can help them with that. So
that's quite a big market still, right?
It's still, there's a lot, and especially now with the new expansion pack, as I call it, the AIs.
Yeah.
So everybody's saying, things are going to change. It's not going to change. It's just another field for us to work with. It's not. So it's been 20 years doing that. I've always looked up to BrightonSEO, and I think it's my 10th year coming here. 2016 was my first time as an attendee, and I put in my mind I'm going to speak there in one day. Been there, it's my 5th time.
Okay.
So I've done a few times. First time was over the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I did a few talks here in the UK. Last time time before last, because last time was just a minute ago, and it was in San Diego. And today, so I always looked up to this. It's part of my personal brand as well, being from Brazil, speaking in international events.
Of course.
It does help build the authority, but I like coming and sharing what I learned, coming to try to simplify what people try to overcomplicate things in SEO. So especially from my talk, entity SEO, topical authority and information gain in the age of AI searches. Sounds very complicated, right?
Yes, indeed.
It is,
and I think that's one of the reasons why we got you in here, because it sounds complicated, but I think it's quite crucial, and so we're super stoked to have you here and learn us all about this.
Thank you. And as I was saying, I try to simplify things. You need to understand the technicalities, but you need to transform them into practical things that clients will understand, things that you can put into your team and they can work with. Otherwise, you're just talking about vector embeddings and cosine similarities, and you go like, what? Mathematics? No,
exactly.
Hey, and talking about simplifying stuff, can you, in a simple way, explain what your talk was about?
Yes. So basically, I kind of like using these. Let me go step back. Yeah. In 2024, when I finished my talk in BrightonSEO San Diego, I predicted AI overviews were about to come up and so on. So I made a prediction. Entity SEO, topical authority, and information gains will be my biggest bets to succeed in an AI overview world. When they are launched, all my clients start to show up in AI overviews, like going up in terms of visibility and so on. I said, no, I was on to something. So my predictions were right. So I started my talk here today saying that my predictions kind of I think it came to fruition. So, and then I used this triad, if you will, entities, topical authority, and information gain to build all my content, not my content, my SEO framework or my GEO framework or whatever, my work framework to do what I do for my clients. First of all, we need to be a recognized entity. We need to be known by the AIs, I recognize entity within the knowledge graph of Google, which is the foundation. Once you have that, topical authority and information gain just follow through, because an entity needs to be an authority and the authority needs to have unique content. But how simple can it be? A very complicated talk.
But how does this work if you're having a brand which has the exact same name as like another brand or a famous singer, and in a complete different market, and you're basically fighting for the same name recognition then?
But this is where the entities come into play, because it helps be this ambiguity that they had. Like, for instance, I show in my talk, Hedgehog. Hedgehog is the animal, Hedgehog is my company, and Hedgehog, believe it or not, is an indie rock band from Beijing.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
And once you are an entity, Hedgehog becomes an entity within the knowledge graph. That entity is correlated to SEO, digital marketing, and so on. So once you have a brand, if it's not in the same segment, you become recognized. Google understands the signal, so when people search,
they understand the intent behind it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is it's so super important to do that, and that's where the results come up. Yeah.
And then especially in the very early days, as you just said yourself, you came up with this concept yourself. You said, okay, this is where I'm betting my agency, my work on. This is what I'm going in. In a time where it is still such a novel concept for a lot of people, I'm very curious to see then, how do you convince your first clients to follow you along with this dream that you're having? How did you do that step, saying, look, this is my vision, I see this is where it's going, give me your money and I will make it work for you?
Right. So I think the first thing is not tell them all of that. So this is the concept that I use, the framework we use internally. It's very technical.
Yeah.
So what I sell to my clients is I help you be found when clients in potential are searching for you, either on Google or AIs or whatever the name platforms are. Because I even say about SEO it's finally about SEO, but it's not about SEO anymore. What do I mean by that? It's finally about search engine optimization, because it's not just about Google. But it's not just about Google anymore. It's search everywhere optimization. So this is what I always sold to my clients. That's why I think I excel when I go to talk with big brands and other clients and all types of clients, because what I do is I help you be found. I put your product, your service in front of your potential clients when they're searching for it. So this is what I sell to my clients. I don't sell, we're going to build your entity, we're going to build a topical authority, information gain, vector embeddings, consent similarities. No, I think this is my superpower when it talks about SEO,
Can you maybe share a little bit more then with our listeners how you do that? What does that look like in execution?
In terms of with the client?
And putting that product right in front of the customer when they are searching for it.
What is the journey you take through from the moment you present this as a concept to the client, the full execution? How do you do an execution like this?
Right. So basically, when the clients come to us, they're looking for our SEO, because that's all we do. So basically, they're looking for that visibility, they're looking for that ranking, they're looking to be found. So our job is already into that. So what we do is we try to understand their business, we try to understand their audience or their target audience and so on, their personas, what have you. And through that, we build a strategy around the company, their goals, not simply all the technicalities. I try to talk as least technical as I can with my clients. I try to put in a framework that this is what we're going to do. First of all, obviously, we need to work on the technical side of things. We need to improve your user experience. You need to improve your authority signals, but in a simple way that they understand what we're doing. So not going to all the technicalities of heading tags, structured data, and so on and so on. In a simple way that they understand, okay, so we need to build the brand, the authority. Then we need to work with the authority in terms of building it and making it unique, and therefore reporting the results. So it's very, very simple, business orientated. You know? The framework that I sell is we audit, we plan, we execute the plan, and we show you the results.
And do you maybe have an example, a concrete example of one of those action points that will be advised by you?
So first of all, we always start with this audit, say the technical audit. So I showed them in a simple way again. When I talk about technical SEO, I talk to them about three things. First of all, your website needs to be accessible. So, but access.
Obviously.
Second, and that includes all the crawling, crawl efficacy, and so on, rendering as well. So in a simple way. Then semantics, because if Google can't crawl your website and render, no matter what you add there, structured data, whatever. So it's a follow through. So first they need to access, then you need a well-organized code. A well-organized code is a light code, which then you go to performance. So then again, my methodology for technical SEO when I talk to clients is simplify the life of the Google bots or the AI bots or whatever you call it. So access, semantics, and performance. And they understand that in a simple way that you don't need to go into depth of everything, and they know that Google needs to crawl. They need organized code, and organized code is a light code, which then talk about performance and so on. So in a technical, the most critical one. And when we talk about content as well, last year we were still living that, right? The CTR is going down, organic traffic dying, and everybody going in EAO, panic.
Yeah.
None of my clients complain about that. Why? Because I never sold audience. I said, we're not going to sell audience, guys. Our content is used to build authority that's going to help your transactional pages rank, okay? So some clients lost traffic, others maintain, some even gained traffic, but I'm not reporting traffic. I'm reporting revenue. I'm reporting sales. And their rankings continue to be up. They were starting to show up on AI. So my content strategy, the way I sold to them, said, don't expect me to talk about audience to you, because if you want audience, go to a publisher. But you see, this is how I simplify things to my clients. And I've been doing that before. When I talked about in 2024 at BrightonSEO San Diego, I was already doing this entity, topical, authority, and information again, because I've looked into that. And I think entities, it goes back to 2012, Knowledge graph. Information gains been around since about 2022. So I cut through the noise and I try to understand and go into depth. I try to read those patterns, understand why I came out of it. I'm not a very technical guy. I try to simplify things, synthesize things, and put it into work.
Yeah.
And that's how I sell things to my clients.
Okay.
And I think especially the information gain is super important here, right? Because everybody nowadays, they just ask ChatGPT, generate me a 600-word article, and there's no information gain in there. And this is really, I think, a core principle, but it's very difficult as well, I think, for from what I see in my own work, for clients to just take the time to sit with you and share their knowledge with you, so you can indeed help them get better quality articles, put that information gain in the articles. How do you tackle a process like this? Where do you get the information gain from when you're creating content from a client? How are you able to access their brain to get that to extra high quality in there?
Cool. Well, believe it or not, we're not using AI to write content for our clients. We're still using content writers. Obviously, they use it to streamline their process, research, and so on. Maybe get the idea out of, the creativity plateau to then build the core of the article and then we refine it and so on. But we're still using that. And how we add information gain, we go into an in-depth research with the clients. What are your unique points? Have you got primary data we can use it? Do you do any researches? Do you have any information from your industry that we can bring it to the table and work with that? So we always try to bring and understand and surface all this uniqueness from their client. Because if you're talking about a company that's selling microphones, everybody's doing the same thing. But what are you doing? Do you understand what people are, what's the new demand? For instance, we've been selling microphones for ages now, but now there's a high demand for podcasting for microphones. Yeah. What's the percentage of that? That's those sales in all your sales, and so we try to uncover things that are there, but people don't see it, and it makes a real difference into it. And I always talk to my clients. I say, mate, if you cannot write an article, a unique article about what you do, you better change your tune. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it's very hard because when you service big companies, there's all the brand guys, there's marketing guys, and there's and we are there. We're still the SEO guys that we try to gain Google, But this is where I excel. I put SEO in the high table. I always fight to be in the marketing department, not in the technical department. I fight to be part of the planning because that's where we can contribute.
Is that difficult?
Oh yeah. Yes, it is, but it's changing. Ages ago, we were hired by the technical department of the companies. Nowadays, marketing is coming after us, especially with geo. I think
clicks are declining, of course, and the whole board is also seeing those numbers, and then out of nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. And if anything, geo helped us a lot with that because it's coming from top down. CEOs and CMOs are saying, we want to be visible in the AI. Who do we need to talk to?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, there isn't the geo guys yet, but the SEO guys. So it opened up a door for us that is super, super important. I see as where everybody's seeing like chaos or something that's not positive. I see that for me, super, super positive because it opened up a door of like people. I never had the opportunity to talk to certain CMOs in companies that I used to serve. service. And now I'm able to talk with them because they want to know about it.
Yeah. Hey, and we are curious because talking about building entities, you were just talking about content and picking the audiences, their brain. What are you doing with that content? Besides the fact that you obviously want to create a unique piece of content, that you just mentioned an article, but are you then talking only about on-site articles, or what do you do with that piece of content?
Well, by no means it's just content on your blog, on your webpage. Like the content that you use on your blog or on your website, if you will, in different places as well. You know, you can use these articles from the blog to reference, to put an internal link or a reference link in your product page, in your category page, or use it in different areas to kind of like build this authority. But looking outside of the website is super important to build topical authority as well. Nowadays,
what is the most important outside? What is the most important outside the website?
I'd say references from other entities. So I do what I call, like, people try to call entity link building. So this is what we look for when we build our link building strategy for our clients. We don't look at DRs anymore. We do a research with the API from Google Knowledge Graph to understand, if we're talking about SEO, what are the entities within the SEO industry in Brazil that we need to be ranked from or referenced from. So we list those guys and say we need to be there. And that's the real that moves the needle. Because once you are referenced by those guys, not only the rankings move up, you start to build a bridge to become an entity. And here's a one hack that I don't like the term hack, but a tip. Not just getting links from them, but referencing them as well. So what I did back in
You mean years ago, linking back to them again?
Yeah. Back a few years ago, that's how I built my entity. A few years ago, I have a podcast called Don't Panic, It's Organic. And I have a section there called Hanging with the Pros.
Love the name, by the way.
It has a little thing with the, Don't Panic, with that little brain herb. Jokes aside, I started to interview some of the top guys in the industry, like Rand Fishkin, Jason Barnard, Barry Adams, all these guys, everybody. And I used to do the interview and write an article on my blog and bring from my blog, linking to them, to their LinkedIn profile, to their website and so on. That kind of like helped trigger my entity within the knowledge graph.
Because they were linking back, of course, to you again.
No, they weren't linking to me. I was referencing them.
So just only referencing them.
And I was kind of, I think what happened was Google started to understand, this guy's related to them, so he's in the same industry, and he's doing a lot of these talks. Obviously, being in BrightonSEO, I do a lot of PR as well, and so on. So and I try to my LinkedIn, my Instagram, I try to be very active there, which kind of connects everything. You need to feed information there. So I think that kind of like, that it really helped me doing that. So I do that for my clients as well. Reference, make connections within your entity realm, if you will. That's also helping. So looking outside of the website, syndicate your content through your social channels. Now with Google crawling, Instagram, it does crawl, TikTok as we know, LinkedIn as well. But LinkedIn, here's a very good important thing. Not posts, articles.
The articles on LinkedIn.
Google doesn't crawl your posts, it crawls your articles. It index your articles, not your posts. So
and if you look lot of people are trying that now.
So
with positive
you need to syndicate, and this is where we bridge the gap between us being sitting in the SEO room in the bottom of the company. In I forgot the word here.
The basement.
The basement. Yeah, that's it. The basement of the company. And now to talk to the social media guys. Look, we need to publish those articles on our social channels.
Getting mentioned by the CEO, like I need to rank in ChatGPT. Can be the guy who does this.
And together with entity link building, and syndicating your content through these things, it helps a lot. And once you become an entity, that's when the brand mentions start to also move the needle. So
of course,
you move your link building, you expand your link building from just links to mentions as well. So all those news portals that sometimes you get a piece of content there, but they don't link to you. With the brand mention being an entity, or the entity being the brand being an entity, the brand mention also counts as well. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. Obviously, these technicalities is hard to explain to the client, but I think this is the most difficult one. And explaining that brand mentions also are valued now.
And did you move all your link building then to purely entity link building? Because I can imagine that still more traditional clients, they would say, no, if you're doing link building for me, I want to have at least like a DR50 or something like this as an article.
Oh, no, it's part of the mix. Yeah, we do guest blogging, we do digital PR, we do.
Yeah, so you did not fully shift to this way. Yeah. It's just because one extra option.
What people don't understand is talking about link building in specific. Everybody talks about digital PR nowadays. Yeah, right. Link building is digital PR. It's not. You need diversification. If you understand how things work, if you've been in business for quite some time, you understand that Google is not looking for just one type of link.
Yeah.
He wants like the blogs. He wants the trade-offs between your industries. He wants links from entities. He wants links from news portals. But you need to diversify, because if you just have links from one type of website, like news portal, that's a big red flag for Google to say.
Exactly.
There,
Imagine that only one person is telling that SEO Brein is amazing. Are you going to believe that one only person? No, it has to be a big group of unique kind of people.
From
exactly.
From the bottom,
SEO specialists or other kind of marketing specialists. Yeah.
It needs to look natural.
I think we both have way more questions for you, but we are at the end of this episode. We have actually one last question for you.
Yeah, which we ask to every guest who is showing up in the podcast. Mm-hmm. Can you name us your one big SEO fuck up you ever made in your life? The biggest one you made. Maybe you only did one, then the biggest one. But if otherwise,
it relates to link building.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we were with this big company in Brazil, like big pharmaceutical company, and we were doing link building for them and start talking with these bloggers and so on. And then all of a sudden, I got a message from the CMO of the company saying, "What the fuck do you guys do?" Sorry for the French. Well, you've been talking with all these bloggers without telling us, and saying, but we're getting the links from them. We are not allowed because we're talking that the brand is talking with them, so you spoiled all the things. So it wasn't a big fuck up in SEO actually, but it kind of like spoiled all the project because we went above what we supposed to be doing in the brand, but we were getting the links, which they were paying the bloggers, and the bloggers weren't linking to them. So it was a success from an SEO standpoint, but not a success from a project standpoint.
The client was not happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Hey, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Felipe Bazon. It was a pleasure to have you, and have a lovely day.
The pleasure was all mine, guys. Thank you very much.
Have a lovely day. Bye.
Cheers.